What's going on, Falcon fans? It's your boy Kondo coming back at you with another video. Today, we're going to talk about the keys of victory for our Atlanta Falcons against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Game 2. Can the Falcons complete the sweep? That's what we're going to be talking about today. What's the keys to victory? Yes, guys, we're going into a team that's right now that's considered wounded, which they say about animals, things and things like that that's wounded. They're the most dangerous things on earth. So you want to really be careful with this game because guys coming in thinking it's going to be an easy win because they got a couple of key guys out, especially their two stars on offense, Godwin and Evans. But we don't want to be able to fall in that trap because if we do, I think it'll be really bad for our Atlanta Falcons. So the best thing that Atlanta Falcons can do is stay focused, not understanding that this is a big game for us. If we get this game, we're really in the driver's seat in the NFC South. We'll be 4-0 in the division, and we'll actually have pretty much a 2-game lead on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It will just be one in the standings, but since we beat them twice, we'll have that 2-game lead. So it's really, really, really important for our Atlanta Falcons to be able to do some good things today. And I hope that we can really pay it off today. We're going to take a look at some of the injury report today. We're going to get into the keys: offense, defense, special teams. I definitely want to hear from you guys and let me know what you think about my key for victory today for these Atlanta Falcons. So let's get right into it. First thing, we're going to look at the injury report for our Atlanta Falcons. I think when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we know the key injuries that they have Godwin and they have Mike Evans. Both of those guys are going to be out, so they can definitely depend on some of their younger receivers. They still got Sheridan Shepherds. They still got a burner on the outside as well. Somebody can take them deep. Of course, Otten came on. If you watched the Monday Night Football game, Kate Otten came on really big. I think he had over 100 yards receiving for them. So they still have pass catchers that's going to be able to do some things. And then Baker Mayfield has really been playing well this season. So we know he's not going to come in and be scared to throw that rock around the field. So that's their injury report. We look at Atlanta Falcons today. We had a couple guys that was limited today. Bijan Robinson, related to rest, he's been doing that pretty much the whole season. Limited practices. Justin Simmons limited with a hamstring, just like last week. Cornerback Antonio Hamilton Sr. back, he was limited. Troy Anderson, he's back at practice, but he was limited as well. His knee, Nate Lamon, limited with a shoulder. Ryan Newsel is limited with a knee, and Matthew Bergeron is limited with a neck. So all those guys limited, but they did participate in practice. So that is a good sign for our Atlanta Falcons for Thursday. So hopefully all those guys go, and we'll see how it boils down for us. Definitely going to make sure our linebackers be good. Justin Simmons want to come back. He took the the blame for not getting that touchdown up going into the half last week against Seattle Seahawks. Pretty much, more of the offense miscommunication. Well, when you look at things like that, we do got to remember Justin Simmons came in late, still trying to learn offense, trying to learn how, where he fit in with this Atlanta Falcons team on defense. And I believe once, he gets settled in and know what he's actually going to be doing, I think Justin Simmons is going to take off. So let's hope that's the case there. So, guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you're not drop another video. Please hit like buttons. I know you guys are here to talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in here and talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So let's get into our keys today. And the first key we're definitely going to talk about is our offensive keys for the Atlanta Falcons. So we all know how the game ended. Thursday night football game was really exciting. Kirk Cousins broke a record for 509 yards, but no two games are alike in NFL, especially when you play the same opponent so close together. So, of course, they're not going to let that happen again. They're not going to let Kirk Cousins throw the ball all around the field. They come in that same game plan. They saw that did not work. Now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do get Antoine Winfield Jr. They get Clancy back as well, so they get some of their key players back. But I just don't believe that the Atlanta Falcons would come out and try to have the same game plan. Now each game takes a shape of its own. You know, they're going to definitely look at how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be playing them, but Tampa Bay should definitely try to take away, you know, the explosive passing game that the Atlanta Falcons had on that Thursday night football game. Now, so the key that I'm thinking about that we need to establish the run game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers is really a really hard team to run the ball on. I'm not probably won't look like that, and if you look at what the Baltimore Ravens was able to do to them the other night, but they have been historically, look at Todd Bowles' team with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they definitely been really hard to run the ball on. So that's one of the things that we definitely got to want to try to do, establish the run. You know, of course, we have what happened 2 weeks ago. Bijan and Tyler Armour had over 200 yards rushing in that game. Bijan was electric last week, which I believe they probably should have did a little bit more with him. Tyler Algier only got 6 touches last week in the run game. So I think we got to establish a run. Hopes that's something they could definitely do, establish a run, and that will be really huge for us. If the Atlanta Falcons can do that this weekend, we got to be able to establish a run. And then if they decide to, you know, load up the boxes, having 7 or 8 men in the box, that's when we try to take advantage of that passing game again. But we got to get our guys going. I think it's going to be key to establish a run, and then we need to be able to start fast. So let's see, can we do that? All right, my next key for the Atlanta Falcons is really simple. We just need to limit mistakes. And when I'm talking about mistakes, I'm talking about penalties and turnovers. That's one stat. If you want to look at some losses, when you look at teams around the league, if you look at turnovers, you look at penalties and things like that. That's one of the factors that play a major role in you losing the game. If you if you minus in the turnover battle, you probably, you know, less opportunity to win games in that fact. But then penalties, especially for our Atlanta Falcons, but the penalties come up in huge moments in the game, situational football, third downs, and things like that, which, you know, an offense is probably worse because you get a whole penalty on first down, not 1st and 20, and now you're already behind the stick. So those are some of the things that the Atlanta Falcons need to do this Sunday is limit the mistakes, man. Just limit the mistakes. Turnovers and penalties, they can do that. I think that the Atlanta Falcons will have an opportunity to get a chance to sweep the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then the last thing, we do get in the red zone this week. We need to put TDs on the board. We need to score TDs. I think Baker Mayfield, like I said, they are out guys, but I still think they're going to be, you know, just a dynamic. He's been really playing really well this week. This year. So we need to score touchdowns. You know, 7 points are always better than 3. If you're able to do that, it's a big boost for us. So we get in this end zone, that'll be really huge. So, you know, we got to start fast. We got to be able to establish that run game. You're going to limit mistakes, turnovers, and penalties, and then you're going to be able to score touchdowns when you get in the red zone. If we can do that from an offensive standpoint, the Atlanta Falcons have a great opportunity to win this game. The biggest thing is they need to have a good, solid game plan. Like I said, I believe the game plan last week, from my perspective, was just not good enough. And they waited too late. And, you know, look at some of the things that I talked about. 9 for 72 and the penalties, right? 3 turnovers. Those are the mistakes I'm talking about. So if the Atlanta Falcons do that from an offensive standpoint, they will be in a great shape coming up this Sunday against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they're wearing their little ugly uniforms, so hopefully they'll be able to not be able to throw up and be able to start to get something going. So I love what the Atlanta Falcons have an opportunity to do this Sunday in Tampa. All right. Let's get to our defensive keys for the Atlanta Falcons. And looking at the defensive keys, I just talked about it, you know, to start the show, where they are wounded. They're wounded animal out there. Wounded animal is not good. They probably feel like everybody writing them off because there are 2 guys out. They got a guy at quarterback who's ultra competitive. He's not going to let down. He's going to come out. He's going to try to put the game on his shoulders and try to make stuff happen. So that's just the way it is. Eddie said upset, bro. Upset for who? According to most people, people think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is the best team. So you're right. I guess we will be upsetting them. Some people think they're the two-time defending NFC South champ. So, right, it might be an upset brewing. You might be 100% right if you're looking at it in that aspect. But they're wounded animal, guys. They're gonna come out. They're gonna be solid. I know Baker Mayfield is a baller. It's one thing they're gonna do. Yes, they have a young receiving core, but one thing I think that they're gonna really try to do in this game, and if you think about it, Atlanta Falcons really been struggling with all season. That's right, stopping the run. So I really believe they're going to take that three-headed monster that they got. A young man from Oregon has really been running the ball really well. Bucky Irvin, I mean, he's been running lights out. 44 came on. If you looked at what he did in the New Orleans game, he's definitely been coming on. And then, of course, their starter. So all three of those guys been running the ball really well this season so far. Is one of the things that the Buccaneers been struggling with, throughout the years since Todd Bowles been there, is not being able to run the ball. If you go look at Tom Brady when he was there, they could never run the ball. So this is really good for these guys to be able to get their running game going. And this week, I really believe they're going to be able to lean on it a little bit more because they are missing some of guys. Now, I still believe that Baker Mayfield is going to trust his young receivers that he got out there, and he's going to be good. But he don't have his safety blanket in Mike Evans, one of the best slot receivers in the game, and Chris Godwin. So it's really going to be interesting to see what they do for a game plan. But I think one of the things going to be at the top of their key is be able to try to establish a run game. And right now, the way the Atlanta Falcons is doing their run fits, they're not have been doing a good job this year. So stopping the run is definitely my first key on defense. What the Atlanta Falcons need to do is be able to stop the run game. Just that simple. My second key is really just what I've been seeing all year from Baker Mayfield. We got to be able to contain Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, like I said, he's a baller. He's a playmaker. It's a guy that the way he's been playing is somebody you would love to have on your team, right? He's bringing that Oklahoma Baker back on where he's been playing this year. So we got to be able to contain Baker Mayfield. Don't let him get out, make explosive plays in the run game, because he really does that, and try to make him make mistakes like he did in the Baltimore game. If we can do that, that's going to be huge for us. So got to be able to stop the run. We want to be able to contain Baker Mayfield. If we can do those things, I definitely believe that the Atlanta Falcons have an opportunity to come away with the sweep for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then last but not least, like I said, they don't have their two top guns out there on in the receiver room. So we cannot allow explosive plays against guys that, just getting their get break right now. So that cannot be where the Atlanta Falcons go to sleep, giving up explosive plays. Even in the run game, we don't want to give up explosive runs as well. If you go back and look at the Thursday night game, they had one. Bucky Irvin had an explosive run that game. Not so many explosive throws out there for them in that game, but we don't want to have that happen this week. So no explosive plays for these Atlanta Falcons on defense. They definitely need to do some soul searching on defense, especially, going into the half, the last 2 weeks, the Atlanta Falcons have gave up a touchdown, and I really believe gave the other team momentum coming out, to the third quarter. It did hurt us in the Carolina game, but I believe it definitely hurt us in this last game against the Seattle Seahawks. So we got to be able to do better in that. So there you have it, guys. My 3 keys on the defense. We got to be able to stop the run, because I think they definitely going to lean on a little bit more with their three-headed monster that they got. Contain Baker. Do not let Baker Mayfield get out of the pocket, make plays, and try to, frustrate him a little bit, and make him hold the ball a little bit, and try to force some throws down the field. If he can, we create some turnovers and make a mistake. Then last but not least, no explosives. If we can do that, no explosive plays, make them drive the distance. Atlanta Falcons really been, taught in being one of those teams that bend don't break, and we definitely need to see some of that this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, guys, those are my defensive keys. Definitely want to hear what you guys got to say. Let me know. Steamroll said Bucky Irvin is ruled out. Oh, interesting. Interesting. That's good news. That's good news. Not because he's injured, guys. I'm not a hater like that, but that plays favor. This one guy had the Atlanta Falcons need to scout for if he's been ruled out. But I still like their running game. Still, that means 44, who's big body, has really been really good. If you go back and look at that Thursday night game, he actually had a big play in the return game on special teams. So we have seen him and do some things to the Falcons this year. And like I said, he really did some good things against the New Orleans Saints, and he actually did some good things against the Baltimore Ravens as well. So we need to be able to stop the run at the same time. But thanks for the update. I did not know that about Bucky Irvin. One thing for sure, the Birds can't get caught sleeping. Baker can throw to the pass catchers at free will, basically, cause the two are out. So he can focus on them 100%. That's pretty much what I'm saying. They can't, and I don't think the Atlanta Falcons going to do this. They can't just harp on, relish on the fact that there are two guys out, because he's going to believe in his guys. If you go back and look at when Mike Evans went out, he was still throwing the ball all around. Like now, Kay Otten became one of his favorite targets. So we got to be able to not let him, go off to, like he did. If you go back to last season, the game in Atlanta, Kay Otten won caught the winning touchdown for them. So he will, target his tight end. So we need to be able to be wary of that and make sure that we got coverage on him. But I don't think he's afraid to throw the ball to his rookie receiver. Sterling Shepard is not a rookie. He's a veteran out there, so he's going to be big probably. And then they still got the burner out there too, the guy that can take the roof off. So they still have weapons. So it's not to the success that they had, of course, but he's going to throw that rock, man. That guy has no fear. He's going to go out and do some of the things that he do. Eddie says that will hurt the Bucks with Bucky out. Yes, he's there right now. If you look at Bucky Over is one of those guys that create those explosive plays in the run game. His elusiveness, a little bit smaller guy to kind of get lost behind the linemen and stuff like that, then come out other side. So that is a big loss, but at the same time, man, I'm not sleeping on these guys, and I hope the Atlanta Falcons not either. But Eddie also says that Tucker, that's the guy, number 44. Tucker is the one that's going to have a great opportunity. He's a big back. He's a bigger back than the other two. So we got to be able to be good in our run fits. This is not breaking news with what we see with the Atlanta Falcons. They already know most of everything that we're talking about. So we should not be surprised. Now, one of the keys I did not have out there, and I know that this is a big issue. It's been a big issue since, to be honest with you, since our last really good pass rusher that we had all those years ago, probably like 13 years ago now. So, this one, the Atlanta Falcons just can't get the pass rush figured out. He thought they brought Matthew Judon in. He creates pressure, but he's just not getting to the quarterback. I feel like Army Ebiketie is the second making of Vic Beasley. He's fast. He get back there, but he only touched the quarterback after the ball is released. So we're just not being able to get the pass rush. Inside pass rush pressure, I thought would have been better a little bit. So right now, we're just not getting the job done from pass rush. I did not make that one of my keys because I think the three I gave you is more important. But always, if we can, affect the quarterback by putting pressure on him, getting off his spot, and making mistakes, that always be great. So I guess that could go in contain Baker a little bit, but at the same time, I just did not bring up that key for this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But we all know pass rush is always important. All right, guys, let's get into my last thing I want to talk about, and that's the keys to special teams, the third phase of the game. And let's be honest, last week, every phase for the Atlanta Falcons played poorly. Even the special teams, Younghoe Koo missing a kick. We gave up a longer run on the return game. So it's right now when you're looking at the some of the special teams, we got to do better. We just got to do better. And really, the really thing I want to talk about today when we think about special team is that we just need to be solid, man, across the board on our returns, on our coverage, and trying to put 3 points on the board if it comes to that. We just need to be solid in the special teams this week. We need to get back. And, if you go back to one of the games that we won this season, we won on field goals and defense, right? Offense did not play well. I think that was against the New Orleans Saints. If you go back and watch that game, we won on special teams and defense, right? But we want to be able to put the entire package together this week, all three phases. This is a big game for the Atlanta Falcons. Not the end-all, be-all. It's just week 8. But the Atlanta Falcons can really win this game and put those guys in the driver's seat. And so when we talk about special teams, we want to just be solid across the board. Not going to go into my 3 keys because I just want those guys to play better. Just play better on special teams. That's what they need to do. We got a comment here from Devo Vibes. What up, Condon? Hoping Jimmy Lake finally installed defensive run schemes for a reasonable duration of the game and keep the runs. That's my first key. I agree with you 100% is stopping the run. We got to be able to be better in our run fits. They always talk about, staying in the shoot and things like that. The crazy part about it, when you're playing a 3-4, your linebackers, they have to be able to be good, right? Because when you're playing a 3-4, those defensive line, they're going to garner double teams and things like that. But your linebackers need to be able to fill the right gaps. And a lot of times we're looking at our linebackers, they're not hitting the hole the right way. And, they're getting out the wrong gap and stuff. And the running back is able to see that and cut through the open hole. So we got to be able to do that. Definitely want you to go look at what Grady had to say about, playing defensive line and, trying to meet pressure with pressure and not giving up those big holes and stuff like that. Just fascinating guy that been in the league 10 years, got a background in wrestling and things like that. So you love this, to hear, how he talks about playing that defensive line. One of the most, unappreciated, positions in the football because, like I said, it's a war every time you go. Every snap is a war. Sometimes you're getting double teamed. Sometimes you're going one-on-one. But you got to be able to pick your spots. The one thing I like was say try to get skinny and things like that. But hopefully you're 100% right. I hope they'll be able to fix their run defense. It's going to be huge, right? I always say you want to make a team pass. Yes, you want to make teams pass for one thing because you get into the passing game, your opportunity to get them on the ground, but also they end up being one-dimensional. So you can't let a team be multifaceted and be able to run and pass because if that happens, now you're on your toes all game, and that is not what we want when we, trying to go down there and try to take hold of this division. That's what we really need to do. So I agree with you 100%. We got to be able to stop the run. That's why it was my number 1 key on defense. Now, they also been talking about Brandon Dorless. I think it is time to maybe give him an opportunity as well. We've seen Rook came in and really been playing really well the last couple of weeks. I think it's trying to give Brandon Dorlus a chance, man. They say he's been looking good in practice and things like that. Now the question is who they sit down. How about Taquan Graham? Let's see Taquan Graham take a seat. Him and of course keep Contavious Street inactive for this week, and you bring in a guy like Brandon Dorlus, get his first snaps. I know it's a big game, but the guy's been probably giving great looks on scout teams, been getting better and better every week. And we want to see what we got in the young man. So I think it'd be an opportunity for him to be able to get in the game along with Rook, both of those guys. And then, sprinkle in Eddie Goldman still, Harrison, Amayada, Grady, all those guys still going to be able to do their thing. So I think you definitely should be able to get opportunity to see if Brandon Dorlus can get in the game and see what he can be able to do. It'll be his first snaps, meaningful game, in October to try to see can we deliver and take stranglehold of the NFC South. So that's what I want to be able to see this week. So the last thing we'll talk about, because we were just talking about the injuries of the two receivers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but this has been a strange season when it comes to injuries, right? Knock on wood, because Atlanta Falcons have really not got hit with the injury bug. As much they have took injuries. Don't get me wrong. Start the season, we actually lost our one of our draft picks in Braylon Trice. We lost to Marco Helms. Drew Dahlman, I think he's back for it's a 21 day from IR, but he has not been activated yet. So we've been somewhat lucky, but it's been a lot of injuries this year, and it breaks you to believe that when you think about how the NFL has really been really strategic in how they do the health and safety of the players and things like that. But when you're thinking about what these guys go out and do, I think Wade K. Ellis, described it today, and in the call was car collisions every day, every play, pretty much when you're going up against, those big guys and stuff like that. And you think about that, maybe more practice probably would benefit these guys. I know they don't practice as much, and a lot of them getting soft tissue injuries and things like that. Now, some people might believe it's the turf, because a lot of this team got turf now, and a lot of people's getting these non-contact injuries. But it's just something to think about, before I get out of here tonight. When I'm talking about the keys, I just want to think about some of these injuries, so many injuries. Look at teams like the Los Angeles Rams. Look at teams like the San Francisco 49ers, right? Nico Collins out for the Texans. It's just so many people dropping. We just talked about the two receivers from the Bucks. And most of all those things are like soft tissue injuries. So big, bad things that we see from these teams. So, but guys, there you have it. Those are my keys. Let me know what you think about the keys to victory. Sorry I didn't come on last night. Was not feeling well, but I had to come out here and give you guys my keys because you need to know what's on my mind, what I think, and what I think the Birds can do. But let's recap the keys. Offensive side of the ball, you want to be able to establish a run. Limit mistakes, that's turnover and penalties, right? Was direct what happened to us last week, and we want to be able to score TDs in the red zone. Let's make it happen. On the defensive side of the ball, you want to be able to stop the run. You want to be able to contain Baker Mayfield, be able to get him off his spot. Don't let him run around and make plays. And then we don't want no explosive plays this week. Atlanta Falcons really, really good. If you looked at it, limited explosive plays, kind of got away from us last week. We need to get back to that, and we get back on track. Look at my special teams keys. Just be solid on special teams this week, guys. I'm not going to break it down any more than that. Be solid across the board in the run, in the kicking game and the return game. Let's do that. And I think the Atlanta Falcons can definitely take a hold of this NFC South. Let me know what you think about my keys. I know you guys got opinions, what you think need to happen, but I feel like feeling the pulse of the fan base this year. We all, see it the same way for what I'm hearing. Most people believe that we got to get a pass rush. That's no doubt. We got to be able to start the run. I think everybody's seeing that. Everybody's still, kind of iffy on Jimmy Lake right now because we don't like some of the things we see with that. And then we got to be able to be more consistent in our offense. Offense looks explosive some weeks, and then sometimes it looks like but we need to be able to be consistent week in and week out. If we do that, I think the sky's the limit for this team. Definitely can win NFC South, host a playoff game, and then just like Raheem says, you never know what could happen if you get into the dance. So let's make things happen this week. Let's go Falcons. Turn it on, listen to my keys, and if you do that, you'll come away with another W. So there you have it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Quick show, 30 minutes, not that long at all. You guys can get back to your, regularly scheduled events that you were doing. It's Thursday night football tonight. Let's see, can the Rams get back on track against those Minnesota Vikings? This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.